Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Fairholm Farm Virtual Chat. I am Britney with Discover Dairy Program, and we are so excited that you are joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Erica and, of course, her adorable adopted calves, Sassy, Peanut, Daisy, and Sparkle. Today's chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Connecticut Milk Promotion Board, New England Dairy, and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to all of those organizations for making today possible. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. And for anyone that's new to Discover Dairy or Adopt a Cow, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science for kindergarten through 8th grade students. And it is all using those resources and those lesson standards while talking about dairy concepts. If you'd like to access those resources, you can go to discoverdairy.com. We'll go ahead and put that link in the chat for you so you have easy access to our website. Again, that's discoverdairy.com. We'd also love for you to join the Adopt a Cow Fund next year. So if you're interested in joining again, or you're just hopping on for the first time and have no idea what it is, we welcome you to join the fund. Registration will actually open May 1st this year. So just in a couple of weeks, registration will open. And to get on the email waiting list to know when registration opens, you can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt. And at that website, there'll be a short little form you can complete to ensure you get that notification email when registration opens up. Next, as everyone continues to join us live today, you will see that chat feature is enabled. So please feel free to keep using that feature. Go ahead and comment and ask questions throughout the chat. I can see many of you are already using it, which is really exciting. Please just make sure to keep those questions and comments related to the chat and school appropriate. And before we say hello to Farmer Erica, we're going to go ahead and see who's joining us today. So let's take a look at that chat. We have some folks joining us from Trimble, Connecticut, Childport Preschool, Bridgeport. Hello, everybody. We've got some folks from Middlefield. Let's see, some folks we have who adopted Sparkle from Windsor. Hello, Ms. Temple. We've got some folks who love Peanut and adopted Peanut. Some more from Wethersfield, Connecticut. Hello, also adopted Peanut. Let's see. We've got Naugatuck. Hello, welcome everybody. Some folks from Windsor, Connecticut. Let's see. And we've also have Discovery Academy third graders who also adopted Peanut. There's a lot of peanut lovers today. I love that. And let's see, a special education class from New Milford, Connecticut. So welcome everyone. We're so excited to have you. As you continue to join live today, please go ahead and put in that chat where you're joining us from. We'd love to see. And for any of you who are watching this on replay, go ahead and let us know if you're watching this on replay by letting us know in the comment and letting us know where you're from. So go ahead and tell us your school, your grade, town, anything like that. We want to see who is joining us today. So with that, we are pleased to introduce you to Farmer Erica in Woodstock, Connecticut. Hey, Farmer Erica, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We are doing well. We are so excited to be joining you today. I know the weather is a little bit icky on your end, but
it stopped raining. We are happy.
Oh, good. It stopped raining. Perfect timing. We love it. We are so excited we're joining you today. And I will let you go ahead and take it away and let us get to know you and your farm a little bit.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. Like Brittany said, my name is Erica, and this is my family's farm. We've been in business since 1920. I'm a fourth generation farmer. And I have always loved taking care of my cows and my land, and I'm happy to share a couple of them with you today. So here we are where the adopted calves are that you've been following for the last 7 months. I can't believe it's been 7 months we've been following these girls. So they are part of our herd of 420 milking cows. We have Holsteins, which are the black and white breed. You'll also see a few in here that might be red and white, just a different color, but still the same breed. We milk our cows in robots. We have 6 robots back at our main farm. We're at our heifer facility right now, which is just down the road here. So if I heard there's some peanut lovers, is that what you said, Brittany?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that adopted Peanut on today.
So she's not really a peanut anymore. She's grown a lot more than we probably thought she was going to. We gave her that name because her mom was a little bit smaller, and we thought when she was born, she was quite a bit smaller. But she has grown quite a bit.
Oh my goodness.
And she is very friendly. She was actually nibbling on my jacket while I was waiting for you to have us live here.
Oh my gosh. So thank you so much, first of all, for that introduction. It's always good to just get a refresher on where you guys are at and how big your farm is. And it's just really neat. We really appreciate your willingness to let us adopt from your farm. You said 7 months. I cannot believe it's been 7 months of fun already following you.
I
And
know.
I don't know if anyone can remember how big they were when they first started, but they certainly were not this big. If you want to go ahead, Farmer Erica, and talk to us a little bit about each one. So I know Peanut's giving you some love here, but if you want to
Yes.
talk about each one, about how much are they eating, how big are they, how much are they weighing, that kind of stuff.
All right. So this we'll start with Peanut because she's already up over here. Um, when last time we weighed her, I believe she was just right around 500 pounds, correct? Yeah, if I'm wrong. We just did that last week, and actually, she's the second tallest of them, which is surprising considering she was supposed to be our Peanut. They're eating about 20 to 30 pounds, and actually, we are right next to their feed, so we can take a look at that.
Wow.
This is a mix. Of course, it's a little wet today because it was raining pretty good, but this is a mix of primarily grass that we harvest on our farm. There's some corn mixed in, and even some potato, because we live right near a factory that produces actually the Lay's potato chips. And so we use the refusals potato that they can't use anymore. We'll put it into our heifer diet and they love it. So just like
Huh.
I'm sure a lot of people that are signing on today like potato chips, the cows actually do too.
Yeah. So these cows almost, are like an awesome recycler. They're able to eat
They're
things that
very
we
much
can't
so.
eat. Cool. Are there other
So
things that you know of that cows can eat that people can't, that might get thrown in their feed? I know you guys use potato,
yep.
things from potatoes, but what other things could be
So we
included in
we
diets?
also um we also feed brewer's grain, which is the byproduct when you make beer. And I know other people I think use cookie mix is pretty popular. It's pretty much anything you can put into a diet. You just want to make sure the nutrition is good enough for the cow. And that was what's really neat is we work with a nutritionist that her job is to design diets or how we feed the cows to make sure they grow healthy. And the way you would feed these calves that are growing, that are still young, versus a cow that's milking is very different. And that's her job is to make sure we are feeding them the correct feed that they need to keep growing
Yeah,
and
so these
milking.
cows have their private own nutritionist and
I
are pretty
know.
much
I don't
living
have one. I
lives
don't know
like,
about you,
right.
Brittany.
I don't either. No wonder they look beautiful all the time. I would love
Yes.
to be able to have my own nutritionist keep me healthy and strong. Awesome. Well, so we've seen Peanut. And do you mind letting us see the other girls a while and
Sure.
checking them
So
out?
we'll hop over to Sparkle. I would say she's probably one of our most shy little girls of the four. But that's her right there, and she looks very much like her mom. She's that mostly white, and she's got the cute little spots on her.
Oh my gosh.
She kind of tends to keep to herself. Her and Daisy are both kind of keep to themselves, but she's got a really cute, I'm sure you guys have seen her cute marking on her other side if she'll turn around. But I don't know if you notice right now, it kind of looks like she's chewing gum. Do you think we can convince the kids that she's chewing gum, Brittany?
Maybe. Yeah, looks like she's chewing gum, but is that what she's
Doesn't it look
really
like it? It
doing?
is not what it would be pretty cool if we had gum chewing cows, but
Right?
she's actually was eating while we were waiting to sign on. She was eating probably her snack at this point. And then she got a little hungry after she left and she decided to bring it somewhere up from her stomach and chew on it again.
Hmm.
So I find that people think it's a little gross, but it's actually pretty cool that they can break down the feed and chew it and get every little nutrient they can get out of there.
That is
So
awesome. And that's called, what is that called again?
chewing your cud,
Cud. Chewing your cud.
rumination. Yep.
So, and that's what
So
makes them unique because, we only, if I recall, like we only have one compartment or one stomach, whereas cows, because they're ruminants, they have four. Is that
mhm,
correct? And they've
yep.
got to be able to send it through all
And
four
not
of them.
yep, not just them. You'll also see sheep do it and even giraffes at the zoo. If you
Ooh.
look, can you imagine how much muscle power it takes to bring food from their stomachs up, what, 7 feet in the air to their little mouths?
That's true. Oh my goodness. I never even thought of
So,
that.
yep. So she hops right up into her. That's one of the stalls there. And you'll see that we have individual loops. It's kind of like a parking spot. So, oh, she's found her parking spot. And this makes
Oh
it
my
so
goodness.
that they're laying individually and they each have their own spot because sometimes they don't share very well. So we make it so that they each have a place to lay down.
Hmm.
So we can go right down the line, and the one next to her is Daisy, and she is also enjoying her snack, chewing her cud right there. And she's probably one of the smallest ones of the four. She is just a little peanut. Um, didn't grow quite as much as the other ones, but we'll find that, especially as they get older, you'll see some get a little bigger, some get a little smaller, just like
Right.
humans. They're individual.
Hmm.
So that's her.
Awesome. Aw.
And then on the end, we have Miss Sassy. And I'm kind of glad she laid down because she can be just like Peanut, very, very friendly. And she is also, I think, enjoying her snack this morning. And
Aw.
she is by far the largest of the four adopted calves that we did this year. Her mother was quite a large cow, and she's growing very, very well. I think she was weighed in at over 600 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is large for a 7-month-old heifer. So
Yes.
that's incredible. Oh,
I think we
Peanut.
caught her right after she had had her breakfast.
Oh, so that her stomach was all full and everything. Yeah.
Probably.
Oh my gosh, they look so cozy and comfortable, just relaxing, chewing their cud, hanging out, and of course Peanuts being all nosy. But it sounds like Sassy may match her name a little bit if you said she
Yes,
likes to be.
for sure. That's why. Yes, she was all over us when we were getting them. We have them separated for you today, just because the rest of the group would be all over us in here, and this way you get a really good look at them.
Yeah.
But we group them together so that they're around the same size, kind of like the grades at school. You want to be around kids your same age and your same size, so that's how we group the calves. You can see we have a pen on the end here, and then these girls are all about that 6 to 8 month old size. And then they keep getting bigger, and we move them down with once they're same age.
Interesting. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for providing that little update on these girls. Feel free you can keep the camera on them as we're chatting and answering some questions, but we have had some great questions coming in. So we'll go
Oh,
ahead and
good.
start working through some of these. And feel free, everybody, to keep using that chat. We're going to go ahead and take your questions now. So Peanut's being playful.
She's
Um,
very excited about today. I'm glad because the other three have decided to nap away the
right.
afternoon. Well, she gets the spotlight, right?
Right. So anyone that's loving Peanut, she's giving you a show today. So, all right. So some good questions. This one's from Childport Preschool. They were wondering, who does Sparkle like to play with, and maybe kind of take that as well as do they play with each other at all? Do you ever see them like play tag or anything like that? How does that work for cows?
So they definitely. Oh, hopefully she doesn't want to play with me.
Uh,
Yes, we definitely see that they find a buddy. I'm not. I would say these two are together quite a bit, Sparkle and Daisy. So you'll find that as young calves, they'll eat around the same time together. They'll sleep next to each other, and then as they get older, they'll even visit like the robots together. And we'll find that they kind of hang out together and like to do things around the
Aw.
same time. So it's really neat to see these buddy systems and these pairs. And that's what's nice about keeping them around the same age is that same calf that was, when they were about a month old, and then all of a sudden they'll be 5 years old and you'll still see that they're buddies.
Aw.
So cows are definitely very social creatures. And it's nice to see those friendships last as they get
Right.
older.
Oh, that's pretty cool. We had another good question in this week, and hopefully I'll ask it and hopefully you can help clarify and just talk a little bit about it. So this one's from let's see, Kim Lale, the special education teacher. They were asking how much milk do the girls drink each day? Maybe talk about, are they drinking any now? And when they did drink milk, how much were they drinking?
Sure, that's a great question. So yes, they all were raised on milk. When they first were born, we kept them in the individual little houses, which we call hutches, and they drank 4 quarts each feeding, and they did that twice a day. And then at 3 weeks old, they moved to a group where they had free choice, which meant they could drink however much they want, which is usually around 2 to 2.5 gallons per day as they get older.
Wow.
And they did that until 7 weeks old. And at that point, we start the weaning process and we gradually decrease the amount of milk they can get as we introduce other parts of the diet, which is then hay. So they're eating a little bit more hay. They've got the grain they've had since they were born. And so we do that slowly over 2 weeks. And by 9 weeks, they're off of milk and eating just grain and hay. And we do that diet for another 2 months before they transition to what we saw today, which is silage. And they'll eat this silage variation depending on the diet up and the rest of their lives.
Right. And so just to help clarify, I know some folks often wonder, well, why don't we leave the milk for them, or why don't they drink milk all their lives? But it's very similar to a human, right? Like we feed milk only to babies, but then in order for them to develop and grow, they need new nutrition. So very similar to these girls, right? You have to give them
Yes.
more complex proteins and carbohydrates so that way their stomachs can
Yep.
develop.
And there is a lot of research. We do a lot of tours here on the farm, and we'll talk to people and I'm like, how do you know all this about cows? And there is a lot of research that's done that helps us learn more about how to take better care of these animals. So we've gotten
Right.
very, very good, thanks to a lot of research that's been done about how you can best care for them, because they do a lot for us. They produce a lot of milk for us, and
Mhm.
we want to make sure we can take the best care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can clearly tell they are living a very wonderful life at your farm. They are
Oh,
very
I hope so.
relaxed in their pens, and Peanut is just all lovey-dovey with everybody, which is fun. We had a good question from Kayla. Oh, they were wondering just how many cows do you have on your farm in general? So I know you talked about, I think, around 425 for milking, but how many cows do you have total?
So the milking herd, when you ask a dairy farmer how many cows they're milking, they're going to tell you they're milking herds. Those are cows that are milking or are on vacation until they have their next baby, which is their dry period. Our total herd is 730. So that's everybody below that 2 years that is not milking. That
Wow,
includes all of them.
that is a
So
lot of cows.
that is a lot of cows.
What do you do as a family and as a farm to manage all those cows? Do you have a lot of employees? What does that look like? How many families and employees do you have on the farm?
So we do still work with my husband and I work together, and then my parents also still farm full time. And we do have really good employees. We have three guys that pretty much run the whole barn at home with the robots and keeping those cows taken care of. And then we have one person that his primary job is to feed the cows and take care of the work that goes into there. And then we have a couple of people that work just for caring for the calves.
Hmm,
So it
yeah,
takes a really good team. We have meetings and get together and figure out how we're going to do everything. But it takes all of us working together. It's definitely a team effort.
yeah, sounds like it. And we're thankful that you have an awesome team to take care of these girls. We have this is a good question. We were going to talk about this later, but Marissa, we can answer this question now. They were wondering if you allow visits to the farm to see the cows.
We do. During the summer, we do. We just started it last year. Hay wagon farm tours, and we take people right down the middle of our milking barn, and we go by the calves. We visit our pigs, and we actually go out to one of our fields, which is a beautiful spot. And the whole time we talk about what it means to be a dairy farmer for us, what we do, and our crops. And we also do farm camp, sorry, that we began last year, and we have 4 weeks this summer, and we actually still have space open in it, where each week has a different theme. So we do have visitors come out, and we do school groups also. We've already done one tour already this year. So a lot of that information can be found on our website, or you can contact us. And we do individual tours. If somebody calls up and said, "Hey, I'd like to learn more about the farm. Can I come out?" And we'll set that up too, because I think
Awesome.
it's really important for people to understand, what does it mean to be a dairy farmer, and how do we get milk out of cows? And so
Right.
we like to take that time to really explain everything to them.
Yeah, we appreciate you opening up your farm for that. Do you mind letting us know what that website link is? We can go ahead and put it in the chat for you.
Sure, www.fairholmfarm.com.
Fairhomefarm.com. Awesome. So we'll go
And
ahead and put that in the chat.
yep. And then it's info@fairholmfarm.com is our email. So you
Info.
can reach
Okay.
out to us.
Awesome. Info at Fairhome Farm. Got it. All right. Good. Awesome. Thank you everyone for those good questions. I hope you take that opportunity to maybe go see Farmer Erica and maybe even do one of the summer camps this year. I know that sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I lived closer. I could come and check out the camp and come work on the farm, which would be pretty cool. We have some more questions coming in. Thank you everybody for submitting some great questions. Mr. D's kindergarten class wants to know, when will they be ready to make milk and how much can one cow make?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So they will start giving us milk after they have their first calf, which for us is right around 2 years old. About 24 months, they're going to have their first baby. And after they have their first calf, they'll start to give a little bit of milk, but it'll ramp up pretty quickly. So our top producing cows at home, you guys are not even going to believe this, give about 220 pounds in one day. And
Holy
a lot of that
moly.
can be attributed to the robots because they can go in every hour, they can go in every couple hours, whenever they want. And so the more you empty that udder, which is where the milk is held, the more it can fill back up. And that a lot of that is really good nutrition, and we have really good facilities, so we keep the cows healthy and they can produce a lot. But on average, the top cows will give about 140 pounds, and then they'll start to decrease in milk. Hopefully at that point, they're pregnant again with their next calf, and then they will go milk for about 7 months. They'll get 2 months off before their next one is born, and then the cycle starts all over again.
Wow. So it's about one calf a year that they have.
Yes. Yep.
And I just did some quick math when you said your average. So for anyone that's curious, Farmer Erica's been saying pounds, and that's because farmers typically refer to their milk in pounds. That's how it's weighed. That's how they're paid. That's just how they reference it. But there's about 8.8, is that right? 8.
Yes. Yep.
8 pounds in a gallon of milk. So that's about 16 gallons of milk that your average cow is producing, which that just sounds crazy. And when you have 425 cows, that's a lot of milk to find a home for. I would be curious, do you know where your milk goes, or what brand of milk or anything like that people could buy, or cheese or anything that they know would be coming from your farm?
Yep, that's a good question. We know the 3 plants closest to us are Gaitas, and also Gorelick Farms, and sometimes even Agrimark out in Springfield. It'll go out there.
Awesome. Very cool. So you guys can check out and maybe get their milk when you buy it from the grocery
from
store.
us to you is usually under 2 days. So
wow,
goodness.
It makes sense because it's got to stay nice and fresh because it's got a short shelf life. So that is pretty cool.
Oh my goodness. I think she's going to have to be back next year. I think
right?
That's what she's asking for.
She really likes the
so
camera.
Photogenic. She's such a sweet girl though.
We have a good question. This is an interesting one. Mrs. Capizzi's class. I apologize if I'm butchering these names, everybody, but they wanted to know if cows can bite.
Oh gosh, would you want to see? They can nibble just a little bit, but I don't know if you can see. Let's see if our camera woman here can zoom in. They have teeth on the bottom. Can you see that? No teeth on the top, and they're actually even born with them. They were there when they were born. And so she's kind of nibbling. They will bite. Hopefully will not let her. It doesn't hurt too much because you don't have that teeth on teeth. It's just a hard pad on top.
Right.
But yeah, she will nibble. The back, the molars, there are molars in the back here, top and bottom. So we will not be putting our hands on.
Right.
Yeah, Farmer Erica definitely needs to keep her fingers for her job.
Right. No, absolutely. No, that makes sense. That's very cool. So they only have teeth in the front on the bottom. Interesting. Yes. Another good question. Oh, this is a really good one. They were wondering how do you know if a cow is sick?
That is a good question. So I've been doing this a long time. So I could probably, if there was one that wasn't feeling good in this pen here, I could probably pick her out. Some of the things I'd be looking for is similar to what we look like. If we're not feeling good, maybe our eyes are a little glossy, or for them, their ears will tip down a little bit, or they'll have boogers coming out of their nose, which is kind of that time of year. Or see how these 3 girls are all sitting there chewing their cud really nice. If they were just sitting there and not chewing their cud, there's probably something wrong, because they should be doing that about 8 to 10 hours a day, or they're up eating or they're sleeping. So if they weren't doing that and they just look kind of not great, their hair coat is another thing that we look for. If their hair doesn't look like, see how nice and silky hers is, and there's lots of it because we're at the end of winter. If that wasn't really nice, I'd be looking at that. And what's really cool about our farm, these girls don't have them yet, but our older cows, our milking cows, have collars, which are like Fitbits, and they can track their activity. So every single day of the year, I log onto my computer and look at their activity graphs. And if they are low, then it will say, hey, you should probably go look at this cow. She seems like she's not feeling great today.
Wow.
So that's a really neat tool.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's, because they can't tell us, hey, I'm sick, mom, or they can't tell you.
And their temperature. Yep. Temperature is very important too. We always take their temperature, which is much warmer than us. They usually run around 101 degrees.
That's pretty cool. All right. So another good question from Miss Temple's class. They would like to know if cows can be trained to do anything.
Oh my goodness, yes. They are so smart. Hopefully they do not learn how to open the gate. That's the only thing. Um, so, well, if you think about our robots, when the cows come in to get milked, they have to walk into this box and then the door shuts behind them. And what gets them there is a treat. So they get a little bit of grain. And so I would say it takes the heifers that have never been in there before and have never seen it, it takes them about maybe 2 weeks, if that. Some of them pick it up after 2 times in there. So yes, definitely.
Wow.
And even time of day when we will come to push the feed up, if they hear the tractor that brings the feed, they'll come up to the
Get
bunk
ready.
to eat. Yeah, they're very keen on sounds. They will remember things and they have a rhythm about their day. Cows are very structured how they spend their day. So we'll know that if we are an hour late, they will let us know.
Right, right. They'll start hollering, telling you it's time.
Yes.
Now, and I will
Yep.
say, so obviously they're very trainable in that regard, but you can't like teach them to sit or roll over or things like that, right?
So in that regard, now can you tell I speak cow like all the time? I'm not even thinking dog right now. So I don't think so, but honestly, I've never tried it. So
That's true. I'm not sure. I
I'm
don't know
not
that
sure I'm going to
anyone's
attempt
tried.
it, but
Right.
I can't say that it can't be done. We'll put it that way.
Right, right. Oh my goodness. Um, awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. We're gonna try and get like one more question here. Dr. West's fourth grade class was wondering, one of their fourth graders was wondering, what's the lifespan of a cow? And maybe what's your oldest cow on the farm right now?
Okay, so if you follow our Facebook page, we also do quite a bit on social media. We just talked about our oldest cow. Her number is 1520, and she just turned 10 years old. And I'd say our oldest one that I remember on the farm was about 13 years old. That's getting up there in cow years. Commercially, is usually not quite that long.
Mhm.
So that's quite a long time to be milking. And actually, she's closing in on a milestone right now. She's produced 250,000 pounds in her lifetime of milk.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's a pretty
Congratulations. That's
incredible
exciting.
cow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That's awesome. And I think I've heard some folks tell me before that some other farmers that said like on average, one cow year is about 10 years in human years. It's a little bit off, but think about it. These cows can what? They walk, they have teeth, then they start eating within an hour after birth, which
Yes.
is
Yeah.
pretty incredible. And then by
Mhm.
2 years old, that's when they would have their first baby. So they'd be about
Mhm.
I don't know, 20 or so in human years.
Yep.
So
And they're
sounds
full
about right.
grown usually. Yeah, full grown usually around five,
Mhm.
5 years old. So these guys have a lot of growing yet to do.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Awesome. Farmer Erica, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. We are getting ready to wrap up today, but before we tune off, I would like to ask you one more question. And of course, the girls are just lounging and hanging out.
I know. I feel
Um,
bad they aren't up and, but
That's all right. They look awfully cozy, which is great. But
yes.
as we're wrapping up today, I would love to ask you one last question, which is, what is your why? Why have you chosen to be a dairy farmer? Why do you do this every day? It's clearly hard work, and we are very thankful for it. But why do you choose to do this every day?
So I choose to be a dairy farmer every day because I believe in it. I believe in how you take care of your animals; they give back to you. I love the honesty of working with animals. What you put into them, they give back.
Right.
If you don't do a good job, it's
Yeah.
it's hard to get anything good out of it. So
Right.
I just love working with them. How could you not love working with this?
Right.
Um, so it's been in my blood, and I enjoy it a lot,
Oh,
and I enjoy teaching people about it because I think unfortunately there's not as many farmers around anymore, but that doesn't mean that people don't still want to learn about them. So that's why I think programs like this are so great that opens up a door. And I mean, how many times do you get to get on a farm and get in a pen with a cow?
right. And of course, if they're all fun and lovey like Peanut, then we we'd love
Yeah,
to hang out with all
as
of
she
them.
eats my hair.
Now, really, I mean, usually cows aren't quite that energetic and personable, but she is, clearly you take really good care of your cows. We love your passion for the dairy industry. We love that what you're doing, you're providing a very healthy, wholesome product. You said a really good point that if they're not happy, they're not producing a good product. So it's important and vital to you to take really good care of these cows
Hmm.
and make sure they're living the best life possible. So that way they're happy and healthy, and then we can have really delicious milk. Because I'll be honest, I think I would not do so well without ice cream in my life. So
Yeah,
I am
I'm
very
like, that is
thankful.
not a life I want
Yeah,
without ice cream.
exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything last minute you'd like to share with us before we tune off today?
So I would just say if you want to meet them up close and personal, we actually, one of our weeks of farm camp is all about cows. The other ones, we have different themes, so check out our website. But that's the best way to get here on the farm and really get an education about what we do.
Awesome. So yes, please go ahead and check out their website. Make sure to take a visit to their farm if you're available to. Farmer Erica, thank you so much for doing what you do
Thank you
and
for
being
including
a
us in
great
this
steward.
program. We really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. We loved having you. And I know everyone's been saying thank you so much for sharing your farm. We love Peanut. With some other folks are saying thank you, Farmer Erica. We love Sassy. So thank you so much. Oh, we're giving hugs. Some folks are giving hugs to Peanut.
Oh,
And so they're just loving this so much. So thank you for being part of this program. And thank you to everybody else who's been watching, for joining this program. We look forward to having you in next year. As a reminder, you can sign up at discoverdairy.com/adopt. And for anyone that's watching this on replay, don't forget to let us know you're watching in the comments, and feel free to ask us any questions in the comments. We'll be watching for the next couple of weeks to go ahead and answer your questions as best as we can. With that, we are so excited to see you guys next year, and thanks for joining us today. See you later, everybody. Bye.
bye.